I love him.
Sarah, what did we say? The number one rule in football: you don't fall in love with a lone player.
I have done.
And you've fallen head over heels.
Head
The way
over
you
heels.
looked at him then, my wife has not looked at me like that for years, I would say. I've had a few. I open this, I'm like, no way, Sarah's seen Wayne Rooney. She's got a picture with Wayne Rooney. I was absolutely buzzing as well. Like, it wasn't just me like bladdered. I was there going, oh my God, she's met Wayne Rooney. Do you know what it is? It's arms behind the back, head down, looks like he's been arrested.
Yes.
He's been paraded out for something that was found on his hard drive. Do you know what I mean? That's the look that is coming from this
and
for me.
particularly from the guy also has quite a... I mean, it's the navy, but the colours also match the sort of like shame sort of marching through the streets.
We finally found him. We're going to parade him out in front of the football. It's at the World Cup final, and it's pink or blue during a World Cup penalty shootout.
You can just imagine the like punditry if that happened about England, where it'd be like, 1 year we didn't get the cake, and it'll be like, the curse is broken. The cake is on the German's face for a change.
Welcome to the Knockabout. We are a football podcast where we don't take life too seriously. All brought to you by the LEBOM, the app where you can bet against your mates.
And we will be checking in with our LEBOM League later in the show, but we'll also be bringing you the hot topics of football. We'll be debating, we'll be giving you advice, and we'll be sharing the things that have made us laugh this week as well.
And of course, make sure you add us on socials. Just search for @KnockaboutPod. And if you want to get in touch, because we love hearing from you as well, you can DM us on the socials. You can email hello@knockaboutpod.com, or you can chat to us on WhatsApp. If you want to find our WhatsApp details, just click the contact button on Insta. Check this episode's description wherever you get your podcasts, and you can find us there. Right, only one place to start this week, I think, and that is me thinking you'd had a photo with Wayne Rooney.
Mate, this was honestly such a highlight of my Saturday. I was getting home. Wayne Rooney had been at Hill Dickinson. There's the picture. So Wayne Rooney had been at Hill.
Put the original one firstly, because we need the original one.
The original, yeah, no, that was it. So obviously he's there with one of his sons, and had put, get in Everton. So I shared that to the group because, as you can see by the
we're all
decor
fans of
here,
Wayne Rooney.
we're all big fans of Wayne Rooney here. So I was just made up that he was there, supporting the Blues. And Pete replies in the group saying, yes, get in there, Saz. And then quickly responds to that again and going, shit, sorry, I'm bladdered. I thought that was you and Wayne Rooney. So
how did you think that was Sarah?
Just to give you some sort of background on where I was at when this happened. Number one, I never get a chance to drink anymore. Dad of 3, work weekends, gigging all the time, that sort of stuff. I just never have a booze anymore, right? Number 2, I'd gone for a day boozing with my mates, watching the rugby in Edinburgh.
Nice.
We'd started early because we were getting the train home at 7 o'clock. I was like, right, let's just get up there. We'd started about 11 o'clock, had a lot of Guinness in the day. Secretly, I was ready for my train gin and tonic on the way. I had a pink gin and tonic on the train on the way home because I was like, I've had too much. So I sat down. It's a packed train. I'm just, I've had a few. I open this, I'm like, no way, Sarah's seen Wayne Rooney. She's got a picture with Wayne Rooney. I was absolutely buzzing as well. Like, it wasn't just me bladdered. I was there going, oh my God, she's met Wayne Rooney. This is absolutely quality.
Yeah, because that would be so. Because then I saw your post and I hadn't seen the photo yet, so I went into it going like, oh my God, Sarah's met Wayne Rooney. And upon literally not even a close inspection, just a sort of vague look, I was like, that's a child.
It's because I tell you what it was. It's because I didn't see it was an Instagram post of that Wayne Rooney had done.
Right.
I literally saw a photo of Wayne Rooney having a photo with someone in the Everton stadium.
Yeah.
Sarah shared it. I'm going, this is fucking quality. He's our hero.
He's our boy.
He's the glue that keeps us together.
Yeah. Exactly.
So immediately you mocked up a nice little photo of you and Wayne Rooney.
I had to do it. I had to go quickly Photoshop myself into the shot and put there, fixed it, mate.
It's an interesting job because you've still got his kid's legs
which
is a weird way to do it.
But does it kind of works, right?
It does, yeah.
Apart from the hand.
I'd get that on your dating profile. I think people would swipe on that. I think you'd be all right.
Do you reckon I could pull that off?
With a child's legs? I mean, that's telling.
Me and Wazza just chilling. But interesting, I did meet him very briefly at the end of the last game at Goodison for the men, with the Southampton game. At the end, they had all the legends on the pitch, like from the 80s, 60s, 70s, etc. to obviously Wayne Rooney was there and Duncan Ferguson and that. And it was a while after the game, and I was in the tunnel waiting to get a selfie message from one of the current players. And he was walking down with Peter Reid, who always has that hat on. I think he was on
Peter Reid,
yeah, we love Reid
Two
here.
Argyle legends.
Exactly. And Wayne Rooney was there, and I don't really get starstruck by the players, but it's Wayne Rooney, so I just did this thing where I just like reached out my hand and was like, well in, Wayne, and shook his hand, and that was it. And he was like, thanks, love, and off he went. And I thought, I just didn't know what to do.
Do you know what? Rooney's a weird one to get starstruck by because he seems like such a normal bloke. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he still looks like the most normal person you'd ever meet. When I see him on like telly and stuff, just seems dead down to earth and dead normal. But obviously I can understand why you get starstruck. I would totally, but
this is what everyone said about when he was in Plymouth, and you just meet him often on like a night out or at the side of press or whatever. You just be like, this guy rocks. Like, he's just a normal dude. Like, everyone really liked him as a person. Like, he's apparently awesome.
If we could do one karaoke song with Wayne Rooney, it's got to be Did you see the clip of him singing McFly?
I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he went to McFly.
And the funny thing is, and I'm sure we can put a bit of this clip in, like, was after the concert, my mate had been to that concert because I think McFly and Busted are doing the thing, McBusted or something.
No, they're not.
Here we
It's
go.
the complete opposite, actually.
McFly
versus. It's actually the deep rivalry, which is a big debate that me and my flatmate, Alex Kitson, very funny comedian, have, because he fucking loves Busted. He's very Busted over McFly, and I'm McFly over Busted. And this is the sort of great fun we can chat about constantly. But we saw McFly and Busted in the same year. We saw McFly the day after the Queen died. They built the big, so we went to watch it. McFly started by playing the national anthem like that, and it was at Pub in the Park, and Tom Kerridge was like, well, we don't know how best to celebrate this, but we don't know how best to mourn this, but we know three guys who can play guitar. And they came out like,
oh my,
it was very, very bizarre.
Do you know what McFly versus Busted is? Because they're natural enemies, really. Yeah. They've come together for financial purposes.
Yeah.
That's like Arsenal and Tottenham going on tour together. Do you know what I mean? Like, playing each other around the world.
That basically is what the Premier League in Asia is, right?
Yeah.
These mad
the summer tournaments.
It's basically a summer tournament. Which one? Who's who? McFly and Busted. Who's Arsenal? Who's Tottenham?
McFly for me would be Arsenal. Tottenham would be Busted.
No, Busted are
really?
Busted, I think, were, in my head, Busted are bigger than McFly.
Well, they definitely were.
Yeah.
McFly would have had more longevity.
But never had a number one, Busted, until the most recent album.
Well, that's pure Tottenham.
But that's
they didn't have a number one until Ange came in. That's what happened with Busted, famously.
If you've just tuned in, this is you are listening to the Knockabout. But you know what? I like the thought of like an Busted away end, McFly away end in the footballing terms. But
I think half and half scarves at that.
Yeah, they defo sell them, don't they? Guitars. Let's be honest. But this was a clip. So my friend was at the concert. Let's watch this clip just quickly because it's just so good.
I said to Tom, can you get your guitar out and can we do the song? So I done it and sang it to clean, yeah.
It's all about you.
Danny laughing.
Every night I'm laughing, watching the things you do.
He tells the story. Well, he tells the story afterwards as to why he's singing this specific, and it's actually really lovely.
You wanted to go and try to.
He's a better singer than I thought he'd be.
He's giving it.
How bad did he think he was going to be?
Yeah, really bad.
By your side.
Do you know the funny
made
thing
his
about this
own
for me
lyrics
is how
to that.
serious your face looks when you're delivering it.
You look nervous, Wayne.
Well,
This is funny.
Danny Jones and Tom Fletcher sat next to me, and Rick Astley was stood there literally 10 yards away from me watching. I wrote the lyrics to it and sent them to Tom Fletcher when Clean was in the jungle. I was going to film it with Tom.
What?
And send
You'll like this
video
bit.
instead of me letter from home. Unfortunately, or probably fortunately now, we got beat by Norwich 6-1 the night before.
I remember that.
So I had to go home with the team, so I didn't do it.
It's
They
the
have to
hand
pull it.
movements that you do.
Yeah, you've got to get into the song now. You've got to get into it. I think they should re-release the song.
No, let's go.
We'd
Let's
buy
go.
it.
Wayne Rooney for Christmas number one. Wayne
So it's his
Rooney
own
featuring
lyric?
McFly.
It's his
Tom
own
said to me after, I would
clean.
have got on stage and done it on stage. I would have got up as well.
Would you?
I know you would have.
I don't
I
take myself too serious
did not
to
realise
be
that.
worried
He
about
was-
what people think about it. So,
Because I didn't. I'm a big fan of the song "All About You" by McFly. I think it's an excellent song. But I was like, I don't recognise these lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, oh, maybe it's like some longer version or whatever. But no, that is the Wayne Rooney
version.
remix.
So Colleen was in the jungle, and essentially he was going to do that instead of the letters from home for her. But because Plymouth got beat 6-1, they had to pull it. But my friend was at that concert, and she said afterwards there was quite a lot of people waiting to meet the boys and that. And the security had come and gone and go, they're going to be a while, girls. You know, Wayne Rooney's just gone in there with them. And we were laughing because I said, at that point, you know they're not just trying to get rid of you because it's too obscure of a lie for it not to be.
Yeah.
So, we've gone off on a tangent a bit there, as usual, but I just thought that was brilliant.
Do you know what? That's one of the worst things about losing 6-1. Like, we
never saw
It was that week we conceded 10 goals. It was basically the period that screwed it for him, and then we bizarrely brought in Mike Phelan for 2 games. Anyway, but if I'd known, if the players had known,
they'd have fought harder.
Yeah, maybe Mustafa Bundu was the only one that knew, and that's why he scored and put in a performance. That's absolutely insane.
Isn't it?
I went today. I did something I never get today. I went last weekend. I went to a European football match.
Really?
I went to Cercle Bruges versus Leuven.
Nice.
And it was bizarre. It was really, really fun, but it was a big relegation 6-pointer.
Is this in the top league of... sorry, I'm not across...
Yeah, it's the bottom of the Belgian Pro League.
Not across the Belgian Pro League.
Well, it's a mental league. The Belgian Pro League is an absolutely insane league. The way it works is you can... Basically, you go into like relegation playoffs between all 4 bottom teams, and then there's like the top 6 break into their own league, and then 3. You know, it's one of those stupid European leagues where it's just do it normally. Why don't you do? Romania's the weirdest one for that. One year, a team went down that finished 3rd. It's absolutely bizarre. Anyway,
like roulette, Russian roulette.
Exactly. Well, I mean, a team who's going to finish 2nd this year is going to go down, to be fair, in the Premier League.
That's true. But you had all that right, and it was absolutely bizarre. But they lost 2-1. Very poor performance. It kicked off a bit. But 2 things. One, the quality of football was so much slower. Even I think those teams would have struggled in the Championship. They were really not very good
in the Mr. Bollock Cup.
In the Mr. Bollock Cup, and which Tom Cleverley said it's a positive or unbeaten in that at the moment. It's ridiculous. But secondly, I hate the fact that the ultras, and I like the ultras as a concept, I really do. I hate the fact the ultras don't really react to the game until quite late, because they were 2-1 down, but they were still doing the same drums and songs. And I think, weirdly, you as a player, you react to the fans giving it a bit more and not giving it more, right? But the ultras they're constantly going boom, boom.
So what do you mean? You want that drum beat to get a little bit faster when they're losing kind of thing?
Well, this is kind of what we have here, right? We have quite a reactive fan experience. So you try and get the team back on side. The cheer you have between when you get one back is very different to the cheer you have when you go to you know what I mean? There's some sort of earnestness. But it's just constantly banging a drum, boom, 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 boom. It was a very, very bizarre thing. But you can obviously have beer watching it, which is wicked.
I like that.
Of course, drinking in the stadium.
Drinking in the stadium.
And I don't drink,
amazing.
but I like that because I think as long as it doesn't get...
But as I always say, I think if we legalised drinking in the UK stadiums, we'd have less of a problem with alcohol on match days. Because people would not... They wouldn't feel the need, and kids wouldn't feel, because all these like weird 18-year-olds wear Stone Island and have the exact same haircut.
Get the badge.
And they have get the badge, and they have CP company was the other one. And they have all this dark, and it's quite a bad one to have all these horrible dark fruits on the tray. But actually, if you went, why would you need to do this? Where you can have a nice beer in the ground, more money goes to the club, you can watch the game. I weirdly think it might survive, but that could be wrong, and I could accidentally cause several deaths.
It is an odd thing. I remember when I used to go and watch United a lot, and you'd go down for your beer at half time on the concourse, and then just everyone sort of chugging it at the last minute to get it over.
And then trying to go to the toilet as well.
It's one of my least favourite things about football, genuinely, is the half-time pint. I hate the half-time pint. And I love a pint. But the half-time pint's really problematic because the first thing you have to do is get there slightly before the end of the half if you actually want it. Otherwise, you've got to really get lucky with timing. It's too cold normally, because it'll be a lager normally. So it's too cold in like the winter match days to down in that weather. So already you're getting a bit of brain freeze. And if you're trying to get through it enough, you're then rushing at the end, you're not enjoying it. It's sort of just the desperation to have a beer.
Yeah, definitely.
That you're doing
you spend the first 10 minutes of the second half burping.
But I will always come back in if I try and do it, which I don't. I always kind of go like that, and I feel I have to finish it because I feel like what a waste of £6.50 that San Miguel was.
£6.50 is a good price at a football stadium.
Thank you, Plymouth Argyle.
You know, when people as well would, because even as a kid, I wasn't drinking. It was a few years later that I really took to it. You'd be there, and people that had done that, gone a bit early and come back later, they're then walking across you before to go early, and then they're late because they've had to queue, and that does my head in.
My favourite story about drinking at half time is my dad once. He was Barnet away. And they went to it was not a great game. I think it might have been 1-0 down 0, but they went, just a minute before, 1 minute at a time, they went, let's go now and get a beer. So they went down, got a couple of beers and a couple of others for the people who were about to come. And they started drinking. They didn't really notice no one had come down. And they were like, what's going on? And about 25 minutes later, they were like, what? They finished all the beers and they go back out. And they hadn't realised there'd been 25 minutes of stoppage because someone had got really badly injured.
Way.
So they'd just missed. Like, there's no one had left the stadium really, and they had just kept going for ages.
This brings up one of my favourite things when two people who've not seen each other for a long time choose to go to a football match to catch up, and end up just not watching any of the game.
No.
How's your sister? Yeah, no, she's all right actually. Yeah. Way! Yeah, she had a third kid actually. Yeah.
I love the idea that more so if you haven't seen each other in age and one of you is too desperate to watch the game. So it's like, so how have things been? I'm not fucking know.
That would be me. I don't like people talking to me when I'm watching the match one little bit. Whose meme is this from this week?
Yeah, should we do the memes?
Yeah.
Right, I'll go first. So the new mayor-elect of New York, Zoran Mamdani, turns out he's an Arsenal fan.
He is.
I liked him till this point, I'll be honest with you. He's properly taken storm of social media. That's sort of, you'd say, is how he's won the vote, to be honest with you. He was polling at about 1% 6 months ago, really got behind social media. Yeah. Everyone's a big fan, at least online on Instagram and stuff. Yeah. Everyone sort of, it's a nice change from different politicians, certainly, right? Makes a nice speech, got a lovely smiley face. And turns out he's an Arsenal fan, so I've gone off him immediately. This is a meme that someone's put together. An Arsenal fan is now mayor of New York. Another Arteta masterclass.
That's genius.
Do you think he'll get him in? Do you think he'll get Mamdani in for a chat, but like towards the end of the Premier League season?
He'll use it as a thing, won't he? It'll be another weird Arteta thing where he'll be like, he'll show like some video of Mamdani's campaign, and he'll be like, the way that he spoke about, he'll choose housing or something, and he'd be like, because the importance of housing, this is our home. And he'll do that about home form or some crap. Or he'll be like, politics is a lot like football, in a way that it isn't. He'll be like, you've got to make your point in a strong way, and that's like shooting with a heart.
It'll be everyone was against him. He was trailing in the polls, and then Arsenal came in, and the power of Arsenal being the underdog, being the one everyone wants to see lose, but he got there. He won.
And also on top of that, he was polling well ahead and had to stay there because there was a period where it looked a bit dicey, and there was chat about would Cuomo and would Curtis Sleeve drop out so Cuomo could. So it's quite similar to now with Arsenal, where they're 6 points clear. So it's like, don't mess this up. Look, Mamdani went 6 points in the polls clear, and he had to keep it. This is the mentality guys have to be
all
bringing.
We know for sure is Arteta will use this somehow within a speech.
And I can't wait to talk about it.
I like the fact Ozil's there for some fucking reason. Was he? Why ain't him? That's absolutely bizarre. I know why. It's because Sky Sports News. Because that's what it was. He heard Sky News, didn't he? And he went, I've so much of my time has been Sky News announcing transfers, and that was the greatest ever deadline day news.
No, that's a brilliant one, that Pete. Well, mine isn't a funny meme this week, but I have had to do a special shout out. This one here, Jack Grealish is the only player in the Premier League with 20 plus chances created, 4 assists and a goal. He is loving life at Everton, and any excuse really to show this snippet from an interview I did with him on Everton TV. Evertonians are falling in love with you right away. We've seen that. You've done fantastically, and you can see how impactful it is to have them behind you. You're absolutely loving your time here, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I am. Honestly, I'm not just saying that at all.
Look at the way you're looking at him, Sarah.
It's so beaming.
Since I've come here, I don't really know how or why the connection's been the way it has, but it's just something that's just happened, and it's so lovely. Everyone, all of my family say it as well because they come to every game, and they can see it. So. I just want to thank them for all the support and all the love.
You're like such a proud teacher.
Listen, hopefully I can repay you in so many different ways, and hopefully there's many more good times to come.
I'm sure there is, Jack. Absolutely buzzing to have you here. Thank you so much for your time, mate.
No, thank you.
I love him.
Sarah, what did we say? The number one rule in football: you don't fall in love with a lone player.
I have done.
And you've fallen head over heels.
Head
The way
over
you
heels.
looked at him then, my wife has not looked at me like that for years, I would say.
You know when you've got a lesbian woman looking at a straight man like that there's some aura about them.
To be fair, that hairdo, mate,
Yeah.
you don't stand a chance.
I mean, it's so sweet because you're really earnest talking to him. Good, and I like the good leading question at the top, which was, "You're loving it, aren't you?" Nowhere for him to hide.
Yeah.
No.
And he's really good and earnest, and he's loving his football.
And he is, man. And I think that's it. And it's a genuine thing. I think you see this where a player and a club just seem to fit at a time. He's obviously won everything with City. He's won the Champions League, he's won the leagues, etc. But Everton and him are just seem to be working out perfectly well. Everybody's happy until he breaks our hearts if he doesn't sign permanently in the summer. So never fall in love with a lone player, but unfortunately the entirety of
You know what
Everton...
happens?
I
We know what happens.
Yeah,
he goes
yeah.
back to City. He gets Moyes sacked next season. The goal, he'll score a hat-trick against you. He won't celebrate.
He'll
Moyes
do
is
one of
out the
these,
door.
one of
Yeah, yeah.
these.
Sorry. It's my job.
And then everyone will
It's my
go,
job.
at least he didn't celebrate. He did
touch of class, that.
Yeah.
Touch
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Class
class.
act.
Well, and actually, what they don't notice is his calves are going fucking mental.
Dancing. Well, I think in a future episode we need to discuss loan players for each of the clubs. And
Yeah, the ones you've fallen in love
yeah,
with.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good, and that's a sad one, isn't it? Really,
It is.
It's pathetic, isn't it, really?
Finazaz.
Yeah, I mean, we've all got them.
We've
Anyway,
all got
we'll come
them.
back to that
We'll
another
definitely
time.
have that for a future ep because we want you to get involved as well. But this here is genius. This is yours, Ted.
Well, we asked last week. We said send in any football mascots during minute silences, and thank you for what you've said. I mean, it is the best bit of the calendar year.
It's one of the greatest things about sport. And this isn't, undermining what the minute silence is or whatever.
No.
First of all, who lets them on the pitch?
This is the thing.
But it's kind of become a thing, hasn't it?
It's
where
just so
everyone's looking out for it. It's phenomenal. Some of these are amazing.
And this is it, mate. Like I didn't know this was a thing until Ted brought it up last week, and I'm so glad you did because I've been really enjoying it. And as you say, of course, the minute silence and everybody impeccably keeps the silence and pays their respects. And then it's just the most bizarre thing to see. I mean, this one, for example, a giant swan whose neck is aptly dipped over in respect.
It's a really respectful position the swan's head's in,
That's
actually.
fantastic, form from the swan.
Yeah.
Because it's a proper... And also the swan, I guess, of all the animals, apart from a giraffe, of course, has the neck, that you can really, actively see emotion within.
Right, let's get through some of these, though, because there's some belters.
This is brilliant. So two great things about this. The first one of which is that, obviously... There's a classic example of the heads down.
Yeah.
And I always think with this, the heads down also is because they're masking smiles. But the bunny, because of the way the bunny's head is, he can't move his head down. So he just looks, and he's solemnly laid his carrot at the ground. The way you would a wreath.
I've only
It's
just seen that.
such a beautiful little touch. And there's a kid glaring at the rabbit, being like, "You're not being
Get
very
your head
respectful,
down, mate."
mate."
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
No.
Yeah.
No.
This is the shrimp. I mean, this is a classic. Southend United. Again, if we're ranking them so far, this is my favourite because there's literally no way this can't
Be happy.
that fake. Because it's, so why is this even on the pitch for the morning
The
period?
issue is you
It's-
can't change the facial expression of a mascot. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
the problem. So he's mouth open with a massive grin. The eyes couldn't be wider.
Yeah.
It's the least respectful thing I think I've ever heard. Hilarious at the same time.
Why is he saluting his cock?
Yeah. But he's actually
We're trying to
holding.
keep
He's
this
holding.
respectful, Lucas. Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's holding in a piss. That's what's happening. He's like, yeah,
Okay,
brilliant.
this is
Stuck
this
in
is
next to the saxophonist.
It's so good because a saxophonist is a rogue choice for the
it
minute
really is.
silence.
Yeah.
You're talking a bugle, really.
it is a bugle notoriously. No, is
What do
that
you mean you couldn't find a buglist?
Yeah,
Well,
we couldn't find-
we've got someone.
So can you go
Anyone-
back to the last one? Sorry. Because the buglist is a really... Again, the saxophonist, you're firstly like, okay. Secondly, she's dressed like she's on a hunt to kill the bird.
Yeah.
Look at the boots. It looks like...
it's brought them together? They get back to that after the minutes.
Natural enemies.
So true. Usually they chase each other in some cartoon-like life.
That's it. But they, all
These two
things
actually
aside-
look quite respectful. I will say that.
It looks like they've changed the... sort of eyes to be
Yeah.
more respectful.
Sorry, lads. You need the minute silent heads on today.
The female eagle looks upset.
Yeah.
Is it the
she's-
eyelashes? She looks like she's genuinely mourning and grieving.
And rightfully so.
And rightfully
so.
That's how the shrimp should behave. Do you know what I mean?
I wonder how, if you saw that out of context, because I've not been to Palace with these, but with the new, because I remember they introduced the female eagle as a sort of like narrative player in the sort of love interest. Because Fulham have just introduced a girlfriend for Billy Badger, by the way. So if you're excited to watch that soap opera take place,
I need to get to Fulham away.
But like this is, but if you look, like the eyes are drooping, they're sad, but you can tell with the other one that the second he lifts his head up, he's smiling.
Oh, he's back into it.
But with
yeah.
her, you can't really.
And him.
I think they're going
This
through
one.
Yes!
This one. Firstly.
This has been around a few years, this one, I think, hasn't it? And this is
the shrimp have been
this
around
is
a while.
sort of the GOAT, really. It's the all-time, hero one. Yeovil Town FC.
I've been missing this all my life.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird, this one, because they look like a sort of, if you go back, so they're like a squad. Right? They look like quite a sort of like Peaky Blinders, like coming in for like a big board meeting at the end.
It looks like they've just let him out of a cage for the minute start. Come on. November, time's up.
This is the shrimp again,
Fred's
wearing
done
a
it
cape.
right.
Fred's the red.
Fred's done it
looking
right.
quite respectful, to be fair. We'll give him that.
That's so good, because he's like aghast that what has happened has happened. Do you know what I mean? He's they died, you know, and it's so good. Yeah,
I don't know what to say about this one.
Well, he's funny because you occasionally get. I know the exact one. I reckon that's Oxford United. You can tell because it doesn't have a fucking stand there.
I bet that's horrible in winter with the wind.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah, it was
Freezing.
Rooney's last game.
So this one, for anyone who's listening, is just a huge poppy that someone stuck on their head. I think this is what politicians should wear if they ever forget to wear one for like PMQs. They get called out on it. Next week, they should just turn up in a life-size poppy kind
like
of
a
absolutely
dunce
huge
cap,
thing.
but with the poppy.
Massive.
That guy as well. There's an amazing video of a smaller one of maybe it's like a child playing the poppy that's being walked out at the Olympic Stadium, and that is really worth it because it's a waddling poppy like that. Is that great? We also. This is again, by the way, the bugle, the proper
bugle this time. Found one,
and you can see that as a result has had a knock-on effect on the bird. Feeling genuinely quite remorseful. About
Do you know what it is? It's arms behind the back, head down, looks like he's been arrested.
Yes.
He's been paraded out for something that was found on his hard drive. Do you know what I mean? That's the look that is coming from this
and
for me.
particularly from the guy also has quite a... I mean, it's the navy, but the colours also match the sort of like shame sort of marching through the streets.
We finally found him. We're going to parade him out in front of the football.
Absolutely.
Yeah, some belters there. Thank
Fantastic.
you if you got in touch with those because there was some real corkers.
I want to thank you guys for bringing that into my life because I can't tell you how much joy, and I already can't wait. It's mad because it's obviously a very respectful thing, but I think the whole of the footballing community is on board with that. It's just the most bizarre thing that shouldn't really be happening, but kind of is brilliant.
It's fantastic. It's a wonderful thing, and can't wait for next year. Do it all again. It's really bad. It's Remembrance. We're recording this on Remembrance Day
Remembrance.
itself.
Yeah, of course.
And the Virtue Motors Papa John's Pizza Cup Trophy tonight will be a final opportunity for anyone. If anyone
sees them tonight, actually get in touch.
Get in
If we've
touch.
missed any, because we'll need some for
Tag
next
us or
year.
whatever.
Yeah.
Please do. And it is now time for the big debate. We've discussed this a little bit so we knew what we were going to go for, and I really, really like this. We want to talk about what rules or, changes to football would you make if you could. Going to go with you, Pete, with this one because
Let's start off by just going with if you could change one rule in football and you can make it as left field as you want, what would it be, right? I've gone ridiculous with mine just to try and lighten something up. I'm not bothered about going, let's get rid of VAR or let's change the offside trap or something like that. I want to really spice up football. I want to attract a new sort of generation of fans to the game. So what I've gone for is during a penalty shootout, each team has one ball that is not a ball, right? And have you ever seen the Netflix show where they try and make a cake look realistic?
Is this
as a
cake?
thing?
Is it
this
cake or
cake?
something?
Yeah, based off like a TikTok, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's one of
absolutely.
the all-time great commissioning decisions.
So every time a penalty is about to be taken in the penalty shootout, a ball is placed on the penalty
I'm
kick,
liking this.
and they don't actually know whether it's a ball because one of them during that penalty shootout is a cake, and it just explodes when you kick it. Can you imagine in the most high pressure environment, World Cup final, you're taking a penalty kick for your team, for your country against the best goalkeeper in the world. You run up and boot it, and it just explodes. This is the next bit. Either pink or blue inside, and it's actually a gender reveal for the highest bidder. So a billionaire is having a baby. They want to do the biggest gender reveal that's ever been. It's at the World Cup final, and it's pink or blue during a World Cup penalty shootout.
You can just imagine the like punditry if that happened about England, where it'd be like 1 year we didn't get the cake, and it'll be like the curse is broken. The cake is on the German's face for a change.
Here's the thing: which penalty would you put it on?
Well, no, but surely it'd be random.
No. You get to choose as your opposition team which penalty it goes on for the other team.
So both teams have
Both teams have a cake. Both teams have a cake. You get to choose which penalty. Right, but because you don't know who's going to take each penalty of those. So where does your best penalty taker go, for instance?
You go early, I think.
I think you do, because fourth it might all be over, might it?
Yeah, it'd be very unlikely if it was. And the reason I say that is that first, I think you'd get over too quickly. If you put it on first, great, the cake's out the way. Now we can just enjoy the penalty shootout. Do you know what I mean? You got
This is a fantastic point.
Yeah.
You want it in their heads the whole way through that penalty shootout.
Because the way they'll kick it, they won't want to fuck their boots up. So, like, if you had it fourth, quite a lot of the penalty takers will be going, I think it might be mine.
Yeah, I've got the cake.
My go now.
I think I've
you
got
know
the
what I
cake.
mean? So, as in the Russian roulette from earlier, it's that sort of like, oh shit.
It's building the pressure, isn't it? Of like when one goes before you're thinking. It's like that guy, which by the way I've ordered since you love pulling your kids' teeth out. You know the crocodile game. Watch this space. And each time a tooth goes down that doesn't snap you're thinking, and it builds and you start getting anxious. I would genuinely love to see this rule. I think it's brilliant. You know, like John Terry's penalty for the Champions League. Can someone please remake that? Maybe like Solari, but with the cake. So it's like afterwards, it's like knees. I'm like in despair, but it's because it was a cake.
Or like that famous image of Roberto Baggio, the man who died standing, just stood like that with all this Victoria
loads
sponge.
of cake and the other team just celebrating in the background, picking up the cake, rubbing it on each other's faces. Yeah,
that's genius. Ted, what have you gone for it?
Well, if we're going on our... I will admit I didn't go to the silly extreme because I got quite excited about a lot of new rule ideas.
Actually changing a rule.
Football. But maybe my silliest one. No, it's not even that silly. I would say at the start of every season, every club has 100 million to spend.
Okay.
That's it. They all have 100 million to spend, right? They have
like
100 million. And that's it. You can't spend more than that. You can spend less than that, obviously. But if the money you put back in, that goes back into the pot for next season.
I like that
but
a lot.
You can't roll it over. So you want to try and spend it all. And if you don't, you don't. And the money goes to charity, which would be wonderful, actually, because charities should be supported. But, you will do that every year. So you only have 100 million. Because it still doesn't stop you. It doesn't make that you can necessarily buy players off the bat. You know what I mean? They still have to want to come. But
I think that's brilliant.
If you've got a great squad, you could just buy one player with your 100 million. Yeah. If you need a bit of depth, you're going to have to spread that money across it slightly.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like
that's
teams
a good
that
idea.
get promoted would need to buy, maybe like 3 players for 30 mil or whatever. Whereas if you were going for that title and you go, we just need a centre forward. Let's go bigger.
I'd be doing it. If I got promoted, I'd be doing the full 100 mil. Yeah. I'd just go, no, we're going to play with a championship team and then Ronaldo up front. That's what we're going to go with.
You try and buy, basically, I think the way to do that would be to go 30 mil on one player. My opinion would be 30 mil on one, 70 mil on another. So you get that high class striker that has a really good season. If you're getting promoted, you're Nick Walter Mendes, that sort of figure. Do you know what I mean? And then you're 30 million on a classic defender or midfielder that has Premier League experience.
Proven.
If we're a promoted team. Do you know what I mean?
I love that. I think, and it kind of levels the playing field to an extent, because as you said, you've still got your teams that would be more likely to attract players, like you know, with whether it's because of like stadiums or history or chances of winning the title, etc. But it just means that you're not getting this obscenity of like, players, teams that can spend 400 million without even batting an eyelid,
And also player value in the sort of inflation rate, they would deflate because you couldn't transfer if you were that high. So, and players who'd want to move would have to be like, no, we got to sell him for under 100 million. But in this fantasy world where this happens, this is global, by the way. So like also Saudi money doesn't really matter anymore.
What would make this quite funny though is if a team was selling a player and they knew that the team that was buying them hadn't bought anyone else in the Premier League, some ridiculous players could end up going for the full 100 million because they'll be going, yeah, we'll let him go,
Yes.
but we know you've got the whole 100 mil there. We'll sell him for that. Thank you.
Give us Lewis Dunk.
Yeah, Lewis
also-
Dunk is going for 100 mil in
And
this
also,
scenario.
all the 100 million, all the money you get has to be, because you get 100 million from the magic money tree in this fantasy anyway. So all the money you get has to go into club projects. So you can then be like, oh great, we'll subsidise the price of pints for a season because we got
The
70
more
million.
we're talking about this, the more I think this is actually a great idea.
Very
Ted.
much.
Sincerely, like they're going, yeah.
Yeah, no, actually,
And also,
this works.
on a semi-serious point, it would get rid of the stupid way that PSR is, which
Yeah.
means that basically the top clubs could just spend whatever because they've got
Yeah.
all these assets they can sell off, but they can't sell them off anymore because the 100 million is sort of sent around the clubs.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean, it's no cake or ball, but I think it's a good idea, Ted. Do you know what I mean? I think
Well,
UEFA are probably going to go with cake or ball.
But the brilliant thing about it is they're completely compatible. There's no world in which the fact that there's one of the balls as a cake means that 100 million can't be spent
Sure.
every year on Lewis Dunk.
Sure, yeah.
That's the whole thing there. That the last sentence.
Yeah,
Put that
big
on a
round of applause.
t-shirt.
Brilliant.
Put that on a t-shirt. That is gold. I've gone. Mine's not really silly, but I feel quite passionately about this because, you know, it's part of the game, time wasting, etc.
Sure.
And it's both teams do it. You know, your team does it, the opposition team does it. It's part of the game. But I just think it's got really silly recently with every time there's a bit of pressure in a game, you know, from the opposition, one of the defenders is going to go down, holding their head, or, you know, to disrupt that bit of play. And it's like, you know, you get it, but it's taken the piss now.
Yeah, 100%.
And, you know, this happened on the weekend, I think, with Fulham, and we had three goals that were ruled out were correctly done so, but there was a bit of pressure where we were on it. And every time one of the defenders is going down, holding their head, or just sitting, and you think, you know why you're doing it, but it's boring for everyone else.
Yeah.
And listen, Everton will do it. So every team does it. I think there should be repercussions for this.
Yeah.
So if it's not a serious head injury where you're like, okay, he's been twatted in the head, or this needs stop, or it doesn't have to be head injury, but something serious, then you go, right, you're off the pitch for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, insert however much time. Because that would, you know, that would be a bit of a incentive to stop all this time wasting bullshit of, I'm just going to sit on the floor so the game stops.
I've also thought a really good tactic is you then actually hit them on the head. You then actually violently, and you call it reperconcussion, right, as a system. And it's like, oh, you thought you injured, is it? Whack, now you are. You have to sit out. Do you know what I mean?
This is the opposite of a blood bin. You know, like in rugby, if someone has blood in the face, they've got to go in the blood bin. They're going to go in the no blood bin.
Yeah.
If there's no blood,
You're
fuck
in the bin.
Off you go.
Exactly. Like if you're going to disrupt that bit of time, you know, because the teams, they're under pressure, you disrupt the momentum of the opposition team, then you've taken away that advantage. So re-give them the advantage by you're off the pitch.
Do you know what I actually love about this as well? Even as when I'm watching my team and we're winning, and if one of our players does this, it does my head in.
Yeah.
Because
it does with me as
you
well.
want to just still see the game flow. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to see like it stopping and then you're going, right, well, actually, the ref stopped his clock anyway, so you've not actually done any good here. Everyone just stood around now. There's no formation. It drives me mad even when it's my own team.
Same, that's what I mean.
And we're winning.
It's not just like it was, I just used that as an example, but Everton will do it. Every single team does this, and it is boring for the fan in the
100%,
stadium where
yeah,
you
yeah.
think, oh, it's stopped again, and you just
And then
think,
it feels like an anticlimax when you end up winning in that way. We'd seen it with England and stuff in tournaments. And then it gets to the end of the game and you're like, oh, that was a bit shit at the end of that, actually.
You made a great point there as well, which is that now referees are really good at adding time.
Yeah.
So you now do get 7 minutes instead of a sort of 2 or 3, you know. So actually it doesn't help you with anything. It's just you trying to stop an attack is I guess the point of it. No, I'm very pro that, and it is, and particularly last 2 years it's got awful. Because the head rule is, and it's a good rule. It's a good rule.
when it's
if you
required.
But people know that. So people will just grab their head, and they know if you grab your head, and you can watch the videos back. I think it should be a red card maybe if you watch VAR back and you faked a head injury, because that is basically slander. That's libel. You should be able, as another player, to sue.
Ted's going legal. Ted's going legal on this one.
It's false. It's literal libel. If you said to someone, if I said to you, Pete, I can't believe you punched me in the face before this, and you're like, what, I didn't? You would be in your right to sue me.
That's so true.
Because
actually. That's
I
so
claimed
funny.
that, and that's not true.
Yeah,
right?
so what would have to happen then is the camera would have to go straight on the pitch and they'd have to ask them the question.
Yeah.
Did he punch you in the face? And either he lies to the camera.
They bring a Bible on. Bring a Bible on.
Or either he lies to the camera or he has to go straight back on and just go, right, okay, sorry, no, I was fucking around. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Off the
guys.
pitch you go, silly me.
Yeah.
I would do that one just quickly.
I like it.
Did anyone see Tarky get nipple crippled this weekend? Because
No,
that was
I
just
didn't.
genuinely funny. We'll do that for another show.
Got nipple crippled?
He got nipple crippled by Tete, and it's the funniest thing. Ironically, Tete sounds a bit like tit.
yeah,
Yes,
brilliant.
exactly like that. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Well, have you seen Daniel Sturridge get wet willied by his
No.
Plymouth Argyle defender Sonny Bradley?
Oh my
I think
God,
it's Daniel
that's
Sturridge,
hilarious.
but that might not be true. Actually, no, Daniel Sturridge didn't start that game. He came off the bench.
Was that like an FA Cup game
FA
or something?
Cup.
That is a classic example
It is. So
of...
we drew nil.
magic of the
Speaking, by
cup.
the way, do you know what? One of the only ever exceptions from away from home time wasting being brilliant was Plymouth Argyle League 2 away at Liverpool.
See, this I actually
0-0.
can get behind when it's...
yeah.
But that is a classic example of your mate texting you going, mate, you're going to be on the telly. Dares you to do this.
Yeah. I mean,
Daniel Sturridge.
I just, it's one of the most funny, like, because also Derek Adams, who's just been re-announced today, he was the manager at the time, is coming back in as director of football. I'd love to know what's going on, but is coming back in, and he was quite like old school Scottish, you know, and so you sort of feel it's not outside the realm of possibility. There was like, look, if we're really looking like we're fucked on a corner, guys, just fucking give him-
Lick your finger, get it in there.
Love, and we could go on about this forever. And I think we've got other ones that we should bring into later episodes because there's some
Yeah, we'll
golden
do this
ones
again,
we've
definitely.
discussed.
So
This is something we can definitely do again.
Shall we recap? Round 1, new rules, go.
Yeah.
And I'll say there's a spectrum. Do you know what? There's a spectrum between yours to cake via me of like sincerity.
Yeah.
So we've got 5-minute break for pretending to have a concussion. We've got 100 million everyone gets. They can't spend more than that and they have to try to spend it. And then we've got some of the footballs are cakes and penalty shootouts.
Cake or ball?
Cake or
Cake or
ball.
ball in the World
Cake
Cup
or
final
ball?
penalty
If that
shootout.
isn't a series on Netflix soon, then I don't want to know. Please let us know in the comments to this, which is your favourite out of our rules, which one would you like to see imposed, and also your own suggestions, because we really, really would love to know. As you can see, we're very passionate about these rule changes. And drop us an email, hello@knockaboutpod.com, or get us on socials @knockaboutpod.
Right, it's time for half time. I'm going to go and head a cake, kick a football. Well, who knows? Could be either. We'll be back soon. Right, welcome back to the second half of the Knockabout podcast.
And it is that part of the show where we will be seeing where a member of the Knockabout team has been this week, speaking to you guys, the fans, and getting the all-important opinions.
Where do you think your team will actually finish this season?
You hear every year from Arsenal, but this is the year. First place this year, yeah?
I think we finished top. People are struggling around us. I think we're playing good football.
I think winning the league this year, it's a good shout. Gabriel's in form.
We got the squad depth this year, so I reckon top.
We're finishing first.
No doubt.
Full confidence.
I say not into last year.
In the Premier League, I support United. So I'd be happy if we get a top
Hang
four.
on.
United's been a joke and all, but I think we got it this season.
I'm a West Ham
He's at the
fan.
Emirates
We're gonna stay
chilling.
up, 100%. Like we got too many quality players. Hopefully mid-table, man. But it's not looking good for us.
West
at the moment.
Ham. Nah, West Ham just. I always think when you see Arsenal Stadium in the background, it's kind of like POV. You're about to do the worst take you've ever heard.
Well, yeah, I think this is a great question for Arsenal for two reasons. One, obviously, they're top of the league.
Yeah.
But two, you ask any Arsenal fan before Christmas where they're going to finish in the league. Yeah, we're going to finish
We'll win
top.
it.
It's our
We'll win
year.
it.
It's our year again, isn't it?
Like, remember when they did the kit because it was almost impossible to not win the league, and they had gold trim on the kit for the next year because it was, and then like, was it Puma? I can't remember, or
Adidas.
Adidas, and they'd come out and said, "Oh no, it was in a nod to the team of like the," and it's like, no, it's not. Just be honest.
They were 7 points clear that year, and they
was it.
thought if we're ever going to bank on an early doors, I don't understand why they didn't just delay it. Because football kits all look the fucking same anyway, you know, in the big things.
How
So why
long
not
do you
have to
reckon
it?
they'd had that gold trim on order? Like,
Yeah.
I always
go on,
remember-
press the button, press it now.
7 points a day.
The tab was open for 14 years.
I always remember seeing that absolutely tragic but funny video. Don't know why I said it like that one. That absolutely bizarre video of the French champions bus going back to wherever it was coming from after they hadn't won.
This is one of the most
In
depressing things ever,
2016
isn't
at the
it?
Euros, because they lost the final to Portugal. They should have won that tournament. The best team in the tournament, and Antoine Griezmann was the most beautiful man that's ever lived. But they should have won, and they didn't. So there's a video of the French bus going back. It was really like...
Yeah, I've seen. There's been a lot of those, hasn't there, where you see a sad photo of a of a bus decorated in a warehouse somewhere. Like,
send those to us, please.
God, if only this could have been. Yeah. If you've ever seen one, get in touch.
Send those to us. You're like, they'll never, and you've just had visions of the people that did all the however they do it, are going, fucking hell, I spent 5 fucking weeks doing that, and it's like absolute genius. But no, Arsenal, it's interesting. Are we going to go with our predictions of where our team are going to finish this year?
Yeah, let's do that.
Go on.
All right, United. I think United will finish 4th this year.
Classic United thing to say.
Yes.
The vintage, slightly positive United fan opinion is every fucking season we're going to finish 4th.
We're on good form. Not lost a game in quite a while now. It's lovely to sort of be riding that wave. 6 games, is it? Something like that?
5 or 6.
Yeah. I think the teams above us will drop off. I think Sunderland aren't going to end up in a Champions League place.
Few injuries.
Yeah. Teams like Chelsea are just looking all right. Do you know what I mean? I think it's there for the taking. Top 4 is there for the taking this year. I don't think there's a definite 4 teams that where you go, they will 100% be above you this year.
I would kind of like, just for how bad it started, for Almiron and all the memes and everything, and we're all going, surely this is it, surely he's gone. It would be quite remarkable if he does go on to get Manchester United back in the Champions League, because that kind of changes everything, doesn't it? In terms of recruitment, in terms of that would be huge. So you're going top 4. Let's see if that comes off.
I think 4th, 5th. I can see that my weird sort of Man United opinion is that it'll be 6th, but everyone will be over the moon about the fact it's 6th.
Yeah.
But also, it depends how it works with the coefficient thing with the doesn't it? Because you could end up finishing 5th and get Champions League, right? Again?
Yeah.
Because I think it's top 5, right? But we got 6 for Spurs on the UEFA Cup. But I think that's very fair. 4th. What about you then, Everton?
I would say about optimistically, I'd go 8th, but I think anywhere between 8th and 11th would
be
striker. Top 10.
Yeah, that's it, and that would do me, because
you're actually doing phenomenally without a striker, decent striker.
And this is the thing, and I think given the fact that the last few seasons we were like, until Moyes came out in towards, was it January last year? It was always like the narrative was like Everton are going to go, and it was really distressing and depressing and long for fans. So now I think just start to build. You're not going to go overnight. It'd be great if we managed to get even Europa Conference, for example, to be back in Europe. I'd absolutely be over the moon with that, just European football. But that might be a stretch. But 8th to mid-table, I'd say, and that would do me something to build on.
It's a vintage of, if you sign a good striker in January, it'll be that classic thing of, they came in and they turned the season around sort of player. That feels very Everton possibility.
It does actually, yeah. It's that sort of feeling of that missing piece.
Yeah.
And then January's always one of those, though, isn't it? It can go either way.
Yeah.
It can go, oh, wow, we've put on a run together. We scored 15 goals this season. It's amazing. Or it can go, God, he got injured after 2 weeks. This is a real shit.
It's the Carroll Suarez divide. It's the which way January transfer window.
Definitely.
Is it?
Carroll Suarez is a beautiful beautiful image
the
as well.
polar sides. But we are being, I saw before, actually, my mate sent me, we're being heavily linked with even Tony. So, we'll see. And also, you just need one of the, Beto or Barry to, hit some, get some form going, hit some. But who knows? That's where I'm touting us for, though. And Argyle.
Come on then, Ted, the one we're all waiting for.
Do you know what? I can't even be asked, because there's literally no one that will listen to this that could give an absolute fuck.
Where are our Argyle? Right, let's start off. Which league are Argyle playing in?
Where is Plymouth?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
I don't know,
Who are this Argyle?
So Plymouth is a city just to the south west, quite south.
Of England, just to get that.
England, yeah. So we are currently. Where do you think we are in the league?
I don't know what league you're playing.
League One.
I think it is League One. Yeah,
we went down from League One.
Okay.
Wherever we went down last season from the Championship.
And your manager is
Tom Cleverley.
Who
just came from Championship Watford.
Yeah.
Where do you think we are?
I think you are around 16th.
I'm actually going to go, because judging by your frustrations, 19th.
We are bottom of League One. We are
okay.
You know what? Maybe neutrals will be interested by this. We are sat stark bottom of League One. We can't even get out of it in the next game, because we've also had 6 away games in a row. Lost all of them.
What?
Yeah, well, there's 2 things have happened. The first one of which is just that's an actual bit of oddness with the fixtures, but also we've had to delay 2 games for international call-ups, because we've got a couple of Northern Ireland people. So Bradford's been delayed as well. That would have been our home game. So our next game is now, we got the 30 motives tonight. But it's an absolute disaster, to be honest. And I don't like dragging the club, but do you know what? I'll say this because some of my Argyle following fans might be interested. It's been a really fascinating season because we went down and there was this huge swathe of kind of optimism about coming back up because the second half of last season had been kind of pretty brilliant. I'm not as big a Muslic fan as everyone else is because I think actually he lost us a lot of key games, but whatever. And Cercle Bruges, by the way, the club I went to was his old club. So anyway,
the connections.
Great fun chatting to the locals about that. But then, and apparently when he got sacked, they all protested because it's shared as a ground. This is genuinely quite interesting, I think. It's shared with Club Bruges as a ground. So half is club, so half is blue, and half is green, and in protest against Muslic being sacked, they all sat on the blue side.
Oh, really?
So the green,
to be like, the green was exposed, so the owners would be like, anyway.
That's lovely.
That's quite lovely, isn't
yeah.
it? Anyway, so we went down a bit swathe of optimism, and then what happened? We got a couple of injuries, and we lost our first 4 games, and then we started to look like we were recovering, and truth be told, cleverly, I don't think is.
He's not ready.
I don't want to be. He is the worst performing manager in the UK because Watford were the worst team in the Championship last year.
Oh no!
And it's one of those things where everyone was quite optimistic about Cleverly back. If you look at the metrics, you go,
the signs
hang
were
on,
there.
They were literally the bottom team in the Championship form table.
How long has he got then?
So, as of today, we have brought back Derek Adams in a director of football role. He was our manager that got us my first promotion. I properly remember. Well, I remember football anyway. But properly, I was 16-17, and he got us that promotion, and then he nearly got us to the League One playoffs, and then there was an almighty falling out.
That could have been
it. And there was an almighty falling out, and he lost 5-1 away at Accrington, and that game relegated us because we went down on goal difference of 2. We won our last game. And he fell out, but he got sacked last game. Anyway, so he's just come in today. I don't know what's going to happen. The thing is about lower league football, which I really recommend anyone that just watches the Premier League gets into is there's loads of great stories like this that happen.
There's
loads of mad stuff that's like because I think like the little black book of contacts everyone's got down there is actually quite small because like everyone wants a guy that's done a job in that division. But as a result, you end up going to your Michael Duffs and your people like that. Anyway, we are bottom of the league. I'm so genuinely upset. We've been dreadful all season. It's so dispassionate, and I think we've made amazing strides off the pitch, and I think Simon Haller has been a fantastic owner for what he's done, and he's a really lovely guy, and I think he's really got the club in a good place. But it's become apparent at the moment we need a change in sort of structure in the club.
So, for an answer to the longest answer ever, where will you end up this season?
Will you still be a League One team next season?
I don't believe we will.
I
think we're going to finish 21st, which is the 4 relegations in that division.
Yeah.
I think we're going to finish 21st. I think we're going to have a second season like boom, but it'll be a bit like Rooney. It'll be too late and we'll go down.
Well, there we have it.
That sounds genuinely a bit sad.
Where are you going to end up this season? Give us a shout if you would like to pitch where your team is going to end up this season. If you can keep it a little bit shorter than Ted's answer, that would be helpful.
Fair enough. I'm really sorry, guys.
But either way, we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. I think you needed to get that off your chest.
I'm so upset. It was awful.
Right, come on, Ted. Let's do your shout.
Right, it's time for your shout. Now, this week we have a voice note
Ooh.
from Rob the Cabbie.
Yeah.
I've got a dilemma. I'm a Liverpool fan, and I really hate people who support the club that aren't from Liverpool. And I know it sounds xenophobic on a small scale. It's not just foreign fans, it's anyone. I can't stand people who don't support the local team, and I especially hate it when they go to the game. Every time I see someone not from Liverpool who goes to the game, I think that could be a young Scouse lad who lives 2 minutes away from the stadium, sees it every day, who can't afford a ticket. Because you're on your jollies, you come out and taking a ticket off them. My dilemma is, I'm also a taxi driver.
So he makes all the money off them.
I rely on tourism for my income, and especially match days and stuff brings a lot of tourism to the city.
Yeah.
And the way I solve my dilemma is I just rip off the tourists. So I charge extra.
At least he's being honest.
Yeah, man, it's refreshing.
Just call it I invent my own tourist tax for people who aren't from Liverpool who go to the game, and I see that as a way of me then paying reparations Obviously, I don't give anything to the local kids that it could be going to game, but at least they're paying it in some way.
Rob, what a shout this is.
Thank you, Rob, for that. That's great. I mean, there's a few things to get into there. Firstly, you'd be fuming if you were an away fan getting charged extra.
Has he used his actual name as well? Because is anyone going to get in and go, what's your name? I want to go to Anfield. What's your? If he's like, I'm Rob, and you're like,
no,
it's that fella.
Not getting in this one,
So, first thing to ask your thoughts on are firstly, people not from the city or town supporting that, because that is a more complicated issue than it being cut and dry.
Definitely. So I'm obviously a United fan. I live about an hour and a quarter away from Old Trafford.
Right.
I would say it's my nearest big club in the town where I live. I'm from Kendal. You know, we've got Kendal Town. They've never played to a particular level. There's not a massive following in the town. I think they get about 400 or 500 people going to watch them every week, which is great within the league they're in. So when I was at school, it was one of those things where everyone picked a Premier League club. It was generally people's dad's teams and stuff like that. Wasn't my dad's team was Liverpool.
That's always
bizarre,
interests me.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't around, so I sort of did it to fuck him off, really.
That was kind of
Well, actually, it was my dad's fault. The reason I ended up supporting Liverpool was my dad's fault, because he lived in Manchester, or he always lived around Manchester, and he couldn't get tickets to go and see Liverpool at the time, but he worked with someone who used to be able to get United tickets. So as a Liverpool fan, he just wanted to take his young lads to go and watch someone. Went to watch United, I fell in love with it, and then ended up as a United fan, which is, I mean, it's ridiculous. You never take your kids to go and watch Liverpool, but it's one of those things where, I can totally understand it.
Yeah.
I feel, because I feel it sometimes, because I'm not from Manchester. I lived here for 10 years, but I'm not from here.
That changes it, by the way, though, if you lived here for a period, I do think.
As an adult, though, I lived here. But, but I always feel it. But I'm also, like, from the Northwest. It's not like I'm supporting, like, Arsenal or someone from London or something. Used to spend loads of time in Manchester even as a kid, so I kind of feel like it that way. I do find it odd sometimes when you get to a stadium and there are a lot of foreign fans. Obviously that does sound like Rob says a little bit, but it feels a little bit
disconnect a little bit, maybe.
Disconnect slightly when there's not that huge collection of very local fans going there.
I feel I can really understand this. I could not exaggerate when I say I could fall over and from my front door and I'd be in Goodison Park. That's where I'm on Goodison Road, and when Liverpool are at home, because obviously I could walk 10 minutes and I'm at Anfield. When Liverpool are at home, and I forget sometimes, because obviously Everton aren't in Champions League or Europe, so I forget. I'm like, oh, there's football on, they've got Real Madrid, and you're in town and you forget. It is crazy because it's like the airport, the tourism is so big because it comes with success, of course, but you can't go anywhere. And then you've got the little kids playing footy around the streets in their Liverpool kit, but they mightn't be able to get a ticket or afford it. And that part is a shame. But like he said, it brings money to the city. It's very, very
surely
complicated.
There needs to be a certain level of tickets sold to local fans.
Yes.
But then do they just get sold on to foreign fans for even more?
Plymouth has that problem because you see a lot of people sort of from Truro or Torquay, who've sort of glory supported, or people from Newton Abbot coming in. And I really appreciate this from you guys. No, I think that's true about certain thing, because Liverpool's little scam they always do is they always say they sell 30 quid tickets in the Cop or something, but it's to like 10 people. Do you know what I mean? So you don't, and it's the same people in the ballots that always get it, and it's a really weird system. I mean, obviously it's quite good for the cap industry because he's getting a bit more money from the tourists, it, and the ethics of that come back to. But other countries charge a huge tourist tax. That's
well, he's probably giving them, if he's on the meter, he's probably giving them a more scenic route to the stadium. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
he's taking in more of the city to get there.
And if he's like
Penny
any
Lane
other,
and house, you know what I mean?
Turn the Beatles up on the radio.
And if he's like any other cab driver from Liverpool, he'll have been at the Istanbul final, so he'll keep telling us that story that didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting. I mean, I would say I don't think he's done anything wrong massively.
He's honest as well.
When you go to a hotel in a foreign country, you pay a tourist tax. Yeah. You know what I mean? And maybe it's the same. I mean, the tickets are a tourist tax anyway, because how do you get local people into the game but still maintain the international power of the Premier League? It's the fundamental question.
We've seen this though from the German leagues. Clubs do not make a substantial amount of their income from selling tickets to games.
It's commercial and all that stuff.
Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They should keep prices low to get fans into the stadium, fans who actually want to be there, and that should be the way. They shouldn't have to advertise it to foreign fans. That shouldn't be the way it is.
Do you know, Fulham's a really interesting one for that because they've built this new stand, and obviously the Fulham fan base historically hasn't been able to. It doesn't necessarily always fill that because it's a new standard or not, but mainly also because the tickets are so expensive.
Did you say it was £300 for?
Yeah, for the Man United game, there were tickets going for £300 in that new block.
Crazy.
And this week, I just looked up the Man City game in that block. So the cheapest tickets you can get are £71 in a different end. That's in a different end, the Hammersmith end. But that's like where my mate has season tickets. That's behind the goal, but not necessarily the best view lines. You know, you can get tickets for £50 or whatever sometimes there. But for the Man City game coming up, it's £170.
Nah, man.
So cheapest tickets in that bit. And you go, well, the only people that will happily pay that will be tourists, and they get to do the Fawlty Towers dining experience beforehand and the thing. Yeah. But that's how, unfortunately, now it's such.
And they might not even be a fan of that club. They're just coming to England.
Premier
they want to
League.
take in a game. It's part of their trip.
Americans, particularly Americans, love this. They love the idea of the Premier League. So if they can go. To them, it's
the Premiership.
Cool. Yeah, the Premier Division. And their star goalkeeper has just made an amazing save. And you look at it.
It's Ted Lasso. It's Ted Lasso's fault. This is what's happened.
Go to Richmond. Sanity. But if you go, so they just want to see. And in my head, it's like, why would you pay £100 to see Fulham v Wolves? Yeah. But they will go, we saw. And I realise I do the same when I'm abroad. You know, Cercle Bruges. I know it's a very different thing and the tickets were cheap, but my point was I wanted to take in a foreign football game. I mean, it's not quite the same as Premier League, I appreciate, because you don't get loads of Americans going, we love it.
Does this flip it on its head, though? Does it go, you can't stop people coming, it's a free world? People get tickets and it's absolutely fine, isn't it?
And I'd do it if I was, in San Francisco or something. I'd go and see the 49ers. Do you know what I mean?
But this is the price you pay for having the best league in the world at the end of the day, isn't it?
And the club, Liverpool, with all the success historically and recently, it's going to make it.
If your club has a museum at the stadium, people will want to go and do it. I think Barcelona. Every time I've been in Barcelona, annoyingly, whenever I've been recently, the game's not been on. As if I'm going every day, but the game's not
today,
been on.
no.
But I would love to go to a Barcelona game because I'd love to see Barcelona.
I've been to the new camp. Do you know what I mean? Well, when I was there, I would have gone to a game like you say.
It's like if you went to Madrid or Barcelona and you didn't go to Nou Camp and that, like you or the Bernabeu, whatever, you would just be like, what were you doing as a football fan? So you can understand it. I think the thing comes down more to the pricing and stuff. Which also
ultimately, what we would like to say, Rob, is absolutely fill your boots, mate. Take them in.
No, rinse them for all their work. I know we got to move on to really quickly. Can I just go on that? Do you have a bucket list stadium? Either of you that you want to do?
I've not been.
Luton.
Absolutely. The Kenilworth Road is horrible.
Horrible.
I've been
Oh yeah, we've talked about this before. Sorry. Yes, because I couldn't tell what was going on that entire game. And we should have
I would love to do the Bernabeu. I think that would be it for me. I've always had a weird little affiliation with Real Madrid. I don't know whether it's because United came up against Barcelona a few times back in the day. I always, whenever the El Clasico was on, I'd always gun for Real Madrid.
Always had Beckham, of course.
Yeah, Beckham, And always had a weird little affiliation with Real Madrid. So Bernabeu would be it for me, Bit
like me with them coming against Liverpool in a couple of Champions League finals as well, and Carlo Ancelotti and stuff. And it's the magic of and like we just discussed, it's that thing we would be the full-blown tourist there of I would go to Bernabeu as well. There's a magic to it, and the music after the goals and stuff. And it would be, and you think of Roberto Carlos and R9 and Michael Owen. Thomas Gravison, if you remember him just quickly, he was brilliant for Everton and randomly went to Real Madrid and it was the funniest, weirdest transfer. So I think that's got a bit of magic about it, hasn't it? How about you?
What would yours be, Ted?
Atletico Madrid has always been my team in Spain. I just think mainly because Antoine Griezmann, who is so sexy, played for them for ages, and I like that kit. And they had a lot of sexy players. Torres as well. He was a good looking gent.
Oh, Fernand, did he go back there as well?
He went back there at the end of his career as a seasoned sexy man.
And now he's absolutely ripped, isn't he?
Now he's ripped as heck, He's turning up to all these pro games, the Legends
Shuffling people out the way.
It's phenomenal.
I would love to see him turn up at an Argyle game just randomly, I'm in Plymouth, go and watch Argyle.
If Tolai needs support up front, Torres, please, we would take you now. Thank you so much, Rob the Cabbie. Basically, we're saying we love what you do.
It's definitely an alias, come on.
Yeah.
Robin Bastard.
I love that.
Thank you for getting in touch. If you have any dilemmas you want to talk about, you want to solve, or just discuss a bit more like that, then send them in. Get in touch at knockaboutpod on all our socials, or hello@knockaboutpod.com.
We will take your moral dilemmas to do with football, or not to do with football. We'll sort them out for you.
Anything you want. But thanks for that, Rob. That was great, wasn't it?
Right, let's do the LEBOM League from this week. Now, we all just need to take a breath before we do this.
Yes.
Because it was an exciting weekend for us in the LEBOM League.
It was.
Because Saturday afternoon, Ted, it looked like there might be a chance, mate, that you might be winning a load of money in the LEBOM Universe.
I was first going into Sunday, joint in the world.
So, just to remind people, when you play LEBOM, you play against your mates, but then for an extra £2, you can go in the universe and play against everybody who is playing LEBOM that weekend and who has entered into the universe. And when you enter that, you're suddenly in for a lot more money. So you could have been winning $4,000, couldn't you?
I was, at the moment where it was split up between me and however many people were first, it was 3 point something.
No, that Cantona shirt would have been there.
I know, and I was there, and again, I love you guys because you're actually quite supportive of this, but I think you definitely are supportive. I think deep down you love the fact I don't win.
Yeah, no, I went quiet. I'll be honest with you, Ted.
You were quiet, and it's because I know why. It's because you were really steaming and you didn't want to be like, ha ha ha, you fucking swat. But I got so glad. And what then happened was it was a weekend of two halves.
Well, you said something very, very true in that I think it was either Saturday night or Sunday morning. When you were top of the LEBOM League, you actually said, this means I don't win.
Yeah, it was because producer Lucas, had sent it to the group and said, wow, look at this.
Yeah.
And I went, well, this is proof it won't happen.
Yeah.
Because now we're thinking about it.
And we were all following it on Sunday. And that's the great thing about LEBOM. When you're not doing well, if one of your mates is in the universe and they're doing well, you are glued to your phone.
Do you know what it's like? It's like when someone from your quiz team goes up to do the tiebreaker question. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like you're watching them and you're like, come on, just guess how long the Clifton Suspension Bridge is. Have a good old guess like that.
This is it. It's like we want to beat each other. But then when it comes to it, and one of our own, and it's always Ted, isn't it? Because he is Mystic Millsy. It's always Ted. We always shift that to then like, go ahead, son. We want you to bring this home. We've got a video here, right?
Yeah.
Was this someone who took my money?
This is This is your nemesis.
I'm afraid it's not quite, because obviously, it's just been the weekend. So this is actually from last week.
Oh, that's fine. I didn't do very well.
That's fine then.
Hi everyone. Just thought I'd share my experience through LEBOM and what we've been doing this year. My mate basically just messaged me, do I want to join? So I said, yeah, why not? Then I realised about the uni first, so we started going into that as well. And I ended up winning it just over a week ago.
Amazing.
I think that was the Saturday night in the Liverpool game that when it was 2-0 in the 63rd minute, I kind of was like, is it going to happen? Is it not? I kept saying that was too early. Finished 2-0, so I thought, got quite a good chance here. Put the Newcastle to win against West Ham, which ended up losing.
All, didn't it?
Yeah.
But that didn't really matter because everyone else put Newcastle, of course.
Yeah, this
and
is
then
another
when
thing about
the
it.
City game was 3-1, which I predicted,
Same,
I had to go
actually,
out for a
mate.
meal halfway through, so I was kind of took my mind off it a little bit. And then it finished. So I thought, okay, started looking at the leaderboard, saw that if I got the 1-1 result, then I was obviously going to win the whole thing. So I was watching it on Monday evening, and yeah, it went 1-1 in the 46th minute. I thought that's a long old 40 minutes to wait.
I bet, mate.
Didn't expect it. My heart kind of dropped when I think that was this. The door went through on goal, but somehow the defender got back and tackled him, blew for full time, and I thought, wow, happy days. What I'm going to spend my 4,800 quid on, I don't really know. I haven't even touched it yet, and that's been near enough a week. So, yeah, maybe I'll keep you guys up to date. Cheers.
This is the first person who's won the money and not spent it all by the time we've spoken to them.
And he's also not offered to buy anyone drinks. Like, everyone else has been the loveliest, generous. But I just laughed because there was one bit where he said in that, and it was the specific tone. He was like, and then I figured out the universe and stuff, and it felt like a sort of he'd figured out the universe.
Yeah.
He said it like quite casually, like sort of Stephen Hawking.
Stars
like,
and galaxies spin around.
Well done to what was his name, Lucas?
He was Jamie Green, and he is from Ipswich.
Jamie
Is
Green
it?
from Ipswich. Well
Well
done.
done,
Winning the
boy.
universe.
Well done, Ipswich.
£4,800.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That could have been yours this week,
And-
Ted. Unfortunately, it wasn't.
It's Jamie's.
We were all glued to it though. Absolutely fantastic week on LEBOM. And like we were talking about before the show, one of our favourite weeks coming up on LEBOM, which
Yes.
is International Week, because it actually makes us care about international football.
It does. And just quickly, I'm sure you all know what LEBOM is now, but it is an app where you bet against your friends in a group. You can put however much money you want. We put £5 in our group, and then we've got a group for you all to join as well, which we put in £2 each.
Yeah.
You predict the scores of what games are ahead. Usually Premier League, can be Champions League. This week it's international, which, it's got me invested. It's got us all
It's
invested.
really the international one's great because, particularly because it means that you suddenly slightly give a shit about Slovakia versus Greece or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I always give a shit about that anyway. But
course,
this is an interesting one, particularly because most of the time you kind of know which way international results are. There are very few sort of international upsets, but it means that the actual score prediction bit becomes really important.
And here's what happens. So, for instance, England are playing Serbia this week in the internationals. However, sometimes you go, England will win that, great. But when it's out of tournament football, someone like Thomas Tuchel might go, I'm going to give some legs into some different players. So then you go in, is this going to be a 5-0 or is this going to be a little 1-0 scabber because actually Tuchel's made 7 changes? Do you know what I mean? It adds a little bit of spice to the weekend. It's good.
And with the scores, sorry, Pete, it is that thing as well, isn't it? If you get a result right, which you'd imagine it's going to be in England when you get 6 points, but if you get that correct score, you get your 6 points because the result, but also if the score is bang on, an extra 20 points, which is massive. So if you do go 5-0, but it ends up being a 2-1 because Tuchel's messed with it a bit, but you can make your bets quite late in the game, can't you? You know, before kickoffs. So you could see in maybe some thingies pulled out of the squad or da-da-da.
Yeah, I actually, that's
you can go
something
too soon
I've not...
sometimes.
That's a really good point because I've already done mine for this week.
Yeah.
Actually,
You can change it though.
You can edit your predictions.
So our league, come and join our league, the Knockabout Podcast League. The more people we get, obviously, the bigger pot will be, and then the bigger winnings are, because we're only chucking £2 in each. But if we could get up to 100 people, that'd be a nice little extra bit of winnings.
Little bit for the
we
weekend.
need to pick our big bet for this week, and I think it's got to be England-Serbia, right?
Yeah.
Although the other one we were saying was Republic of Ireland v Portugal, because there's maybe that's
quite a nice
closer.
game. That
quite a nice game. I mean, we all, because we could actually do this quite simply. We all think England's going to beat Serbia.
I do. But then it comes down to the score, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think England, if we're going to do it, are going to win 3-0 against Serbia. That's my bet for the big bet this week.
I was going to say the same, but now I feel you've almost got to do something different, haven't you? Because it makes you feel. So do I go one less or one more? I'm going to go 4-0. I'm going to be bold.
I'll tell you why you all think 3-0 is, because I said that before the recording of the podcast.
I
think it's 3-0.
I'd already done my 3-0 on my LEBOM yesterday, mate.
I'm sure you have, but you can edit it before now because he realises that. I do think it's a vintage Tuchel win now in this sort of period of us being all right under him. Feels like a 3-0 is quite a vintage Tuchel win. So I think it will be 3-0. There's a bit of me, though, that it's getting to the... this is the thing about international football and the scores. It's getting to the sort of... not business December, that busy December period where you have a lot of games and players don't want to get injured and they don't want to get knackered.
I'm going in 100% to stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So they sort of might get a goal, maybe 2, and then sort of go, do you know what? A bit like the Wales game, we got 3, but that was maybe a bit too many and we went nothing in the second half. So you then go, Saka might go, do you know what? I'm trying to win the Premier League now. I don't want to break my, I'm getting a recurring injury. So I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah. So those are our big bets for this week. International football is a perfect place to start LEBOM. I think it's great. If you fancy giving it a go with us, we are genuinely loving it. It makes your Saturday afternoons absolutely fantastic. Download the app. Invite all your friends. If you've got a group of friends on WhatsApp where you're like, actually, we don't talk enough, this is a great way to get people talking and stuff. And come and join our league as well, the Knockabout Podcast League on LEBOM.
And it's full of all of the banter and stuff. Full of all of the banter and
stuff like that.
And all those
that was said like someone that's never experienced banter.
I definitely have no friends. No, but
that was like a politician talking about banter.
That was Boris Johnson, wasn't it? Like, I feel a bit sick now. But it is so good. Like, we are in touch all through the weekends. I said it last time, and I genuinely talk to these lads more on a weekend than I speak to my own family because we're in. And in fact, I might have some of my family join in the group because everybody loves it.
If your dad would get up there on the universe, you might have something to talk about. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
The universe is smaller for the international break because loads of people don't want to risk it as well. So you got a better chance.
Good sound. That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Right, lovely stuff. So that's LEBOM, and that's it for the Knockabout podcast this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have enjoyed us, please rate us 5 stars, all that sort of stuff. It'd be great to hear from you.
Yeah, 100%. And tune in next week to see if Mystic Millsy finally wins LEBOM Universe. It's going to happen at some point.
Yeah. So until then, enjoy the football, enjoy the international break. Don't take it too seriously, and remember, it's only a crisis if you're in the bottom. Well, in my case, in League One, the bottom 4.
We'll see you next week.